Hi guys, I am here with Zekey, who is an independent football contributor to an enormous number of sites, which we'll come on to later on. But first of all, how are you doing?
Hello. I am all good, thank you. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, very, very good. Very excited to talk shirts again.
Good. Yes, I am as well.
Good stuff. I know it's a massive passion of yours. It's a massive passion of mine. And I know that obviously you're not a stranger to MLS kits either, even though you do this for lots of other kits. And there's a good few behind you. I'm a really big fan of that Orlando one, actually. I'm not familiar with that one, but it is an absolute beauty.
The
Middle one, the middle
yeah,
Orlando
so
one.
that's the Pride from last year,
Oh, cool.
and everyone had one, which is what it is for this one as well. But
Yes, right.
the Pride one, I think that's Pride one. But yeah, I just love all of the crazy ones that probably look really ugly, but I love them. So yeah.
This is great. So I really, obviously, I did my kit review at the start of the season, and I think looking back, having given it some breathing space, I may have made some different decisions doing it again now. So I wanted to bring an expert on, such as yourself, to give your views on these things. I'll reiterate some of my views and then maybe show where some of mine have changed as well. And I think there's going to be a lot of difference of opinion here as well.
Perfect. Good.
I think that's great. So we'll crack straight on. We'll go with Atlanta United. This one for me, I thought was a very solid kit, but it wasn't a massive departure from Atlanta kits, if you like. But classic all the same, three colours, bold. What do you think?
Yeah. This is the home one, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's the new one, the home one.
Yeah. So yeah, this isn't one of the worst. It's not one of the best in my mind. As you'll probably learn, I'm not too keen on home shirts as a rule, due to the fact that they don't tend to change very much.
Yeah.
And I like ones that are really unique and out there. But in terms of the look of it, I do like it. I like that it's got the sort of gold sponsor, and it's sort of a Milan look
Yeah.
as well, which is quite nice. The red and the black, and I also like the fact that it's got the gold strip on the cuff, and on the hem as well. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I like it.
Yeah, it's definitely one I could see myself wearing. I could say it's just a really nice shirt. But like you say, I wouldn't know, looking at that, which season it was. You give it a couple of years' time, I'll be like, I kind of remember that one. It's kind of similar, but I'm not really sure when it was. Whereas their away one from last year, that when it was new last year, was a real wow. And it was like, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, that one was up there with my favourites from last year. It was probably in my top three, I think. So comparing them, yeah, it's not quite on that level, but just the fact that it is a home one, there's not much you can really do with that. You can't really go out of the lines with it. But yeah, it is nice.
Yeah. I'd give it, very, very solid. So where do you write about with these MLS kits? So next season, where should people look out for that?
In terms of what?
When you write about MLS kits, we do a rundown or whatever.
Yeah, so I have recently started up doing some blogging, and I've not sort of gone too deep into specific leagues yet, and it's a lot more maintenance stuff. So like washing them and getting stains out.
I read that on your site today. Yeah, that's very good.
But I have recently done one which will be live soonish, about how manufacturers have changed over the years. But in terms of the MLS ones, I have done a few bits. I did a top five for this year, and I did one last year. But I don't have anywhere specific. I don't have any websites or that sort of thing. It's just that I would link to who I have written them for.
Gotcha. It's kind of a freelance basis for lots of different places.
Basically, yeah.
Good stuff. But I assume that if people look at your Twitter, they'll get links from those sort of things to various places.
Yeah, they will get all sorts of different things. They might not even like it, but
that sounds good. Move swiftly on. And so Austin FC, we've got this sort of obviously green and black, sort of jagged, another home one, sort of jagged off centre. It really reminded me of the Cambridge United home kit from last season, which I think was based on an African kit previously. Actually, it had that sort of off centre, the blocks of jagged vertical lines on there. What are your thoughts on it?
So I would say I don't like this one as much as the Atlanta one. I think with that design, I think you need to have it so it's a little bit more structured or less. So it's
Right.
not quite mismatched enough, but it's also, it looks like there's been a mistake. Yeah, it's like it's missing a little bit more.
Yeah, I
It's
see.
pushed a little bit out, but I like what they have sort of done with this one. It is definitely different to what home kits are normally, so they do get an extra point on that thing anyway. But I don't know about the sponsor. It's quite in your face, but yeah, overall I like what they have tried to do with it, but I don't think it's quite worked.
Yeah, I can totally see what you mean, and it hadn't actually dawned on me before that it isn't quite enough, because there's quite a large block of it which is just the straight stripes. They do need to maybe jagged that one up, cut that across the middle somewhere as well to make it look even more like that, because it's kind of a patchwork. But like you, I like the concept. I like the what they're trying to do with it. Actually, yeah, and I can see that maybe that is it. Yeah, I've liked it, but not really loved it. And I think you've hit the nail on the head there about why that actually is. Because I think it just needs a bit more.
Yeah, maybe.
I like the sponsor, actually. I'm just noticing here that the home and away are both green. I'm not sure what they do if they play somebody in sort of yellow or also green. What do they do to avoid the avoid the match? I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't think that was really allowed. I didn't think you could have two that were very similar.
Yeah.
I do like the mint green on the away more than the home.
I have to say I do like that one. Yeah, the mint green's very nice.
It looks a lot like the Bayern Munich one from a few years ago, which is really nice. But yeah, I didn't think that was really allowed to have two greens as a home and away.
Yeah, if anyone knows that, then do please comment, because I think that's really interesting. If you play another team and it was at the other team's ground, so Austin would technically have to change theirs to not have the clash. Would two greens still be allowed? I don't know if it's different enough. It must have been sanctioned somewhere along the line, but
yeah, maybe. And also, I think even with the green, if you look at other leagues like in Italy, I don't think they're allowed green at all now. I think people being colorblind, I think that might be the thing there. As I think they blend in with the grass or something like that. And they've picked two green ones, so I've never really seen that one.
So the headline takeaway is that Austin hate colorblind people, which is
maybe that's what it is. Yeah,
I think that's what it is. For Austin fans, let us know if you get any insight on this. Then please do let us know. And if you are colorblind and an Austin FC fan, how is this going to work for you?
Yeah, good luck with that.
Let's move on to Montreal. So I think what we're looking at here is the home check, because the away. I'm confusing myself now, because this one that was late out, wasn't it? They didn't have the kit ready in time, and I know that sort of blue cheese one is the away. So I'm guessing it's the home that was new. Can you shed the light on that?
I can't really. No, I'm a little bit confused. I've not seen that home one before, so I'm not entirely sure. And we can't. There's not really much on the screen. We can't really see very much either.
No, we are using a little bit of it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think it's maybe because it's not out yet.
Yeah.
I've just Googled an article here, and that is a snippet from the sort of leak that was out there. So I don't know if we click on that one. Yeah, you can get a bigger view if you click on it, of that shirt, which actually I quite like. It's quite a nice pattern on the front there, actually. But from what I can see, it does look pretty decent.
Yeah, that one's. I think that one was quite nice. I think the blue and white is a standard colorway, which is used quite often, but it does work.
Yeah,
I like the ombre that they've sort of got from those shapes. I'm not sure what shape you would call them, but
a chevron, but it's elongated, isn't it?
Yeah, but I like it because it starts off quite thick, and then as you come down, it gets lighter, which is nice. A lot of the ones in my collection have ombres as well. As I just think that it adds a little bit more, which is nice. But yeah, I think that's probably my favorite so far.
Yeah, I think it might be mine actually. Yeah, it is a very, very nice pattern. Controversially, I got involved in this on a Montreal Reddit group about the badge because I wasn't really sure why they changed the badge and then changed it kind of back to something slightly different but newer. And they called the old one there the cat's bum badge. Apparently that's what it looked like. But I really preferred that old cat's bum badge. I really liked the geometric shape of it. Do you know the one I mean?
I do roughly, yeah. I don't mind this one. It does work. It's almost as if they made it specifically for this home kit.
Yes.
Which I doubt was why, but it really works perfectly with that. So yeah, I do like it.
Yeah, no, that's really good actually. It's like it does work so well with the kit. Look, interested to see what it does next year actually. Okay, moving on to Charlotte. This is the purple one is the new one here. I really liked this one. There's obviously the Orlando one as well, which is quite similar in the sort of boldness of the purple here. I like the way they've picked out the sort of neon colors in the pink and the sort of turquoise cyan sort of colors as well. And they've sort of done that with the badge as well. I really like the way they've taken the colors out of the badge and just made it fit in with the colorways of the shirt. So yeah, I think it's a really good one. What about you?
Yeah, I think amongst most people, this one was quite popular. It sort of annoyed me. It was I almost really liked it, but it wasn't quite enough. Like I think if the purple was a little lighter, but even then, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit too picky. It's probably that. As pink and purple and light blue is a lovely combination, and it's not one that you really see too often. I would imagine it's probably going to come into play a lot more as more clubs are being a little bit more out there with their kit choices. But yeah, no, I do like it. I think the thing that probably slightly putting me off is the lack of the detail in it. It's just sort of blocks. I do like having designs on the main body, and I don't think there is, as far as I can see. I think it's just a plain body. But yeah, I do like this one in terms of the colors as well. It is the nicest one, but design wise, I prefer the Montreal one, I think.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Actually, I've just clicked on it now, and I hadn't realised before, but there are actually inlaid little crowns in the material on the purple. I like you. I thought it was which is a block colour, but they're actually little. I really like those little crowns. Actually, that's elevated it for me seeing those now.
It has definitely. I would probably want more crowns.
Yes, yeah, more crowns the better, I think. Yeah. But if someone had said to me, do you think you'll like a really deep purple and then with cyan and pink on shirt, and I hadn't seen that shirt, I would say that sounds hideous. I mean, it's frankly a terrible combination, and I'd never want to see that shirt, but I really like it. But yeah, it's a real surprise for me, and yeah, I would consider picking that one up actually, because it does seem like it might be a bit of a classic.
Yeah.
Okay, onto the fire. I think this one was very, very talked about. I think it was pretty innovative actually on this one. I really like it. I'm going to keep it very simple from my point of view. White shirt, really like the pattern. It's got the chevrons, some of which are in line, some of which are slightly off line, but it works for me. You?
Yeah, I am with you there mainly. Thing that's confusing me a bit is I guess that white space in the middle is there for the sponsor.
Oh yeah, I hadn't noticed that. Yeah,
which would make a lot more sense, I think. But then I don't think it would look as good with a sponsor. So
yeah,
I think either you need a sponsor or you bring a bit more of that design up. And I'm not normally one for a sort of centralized badge, but I think it really works here. But yeah, I think overall they've definitely pushed the boat out, and I do like what they have made here. It's
yeah.
good.
I totally agree. And I think that is the rationale behind it. I think they were leaving it just in case the sponsor came in. But yeah, I mean, there is, I think, certainly one of the shirts that we're going to look at today. I think I love the shirt, but the sponsor's completely ruined it. So this one, again, if it had a sponsor, it could look better or it could look worse. I mean, if it's going to be like Chicago fireplaces and it's like a lovely flame or something underneath, that would look really, really, really cool. But if it's like Chicago toilet brushes, and it could just look terrible, across the front. So
Definitely.
yeah, it's a real possible mistake. But yeah, I'm with you on the middle badge thing. I don't think it works very often, but when it's nailed, it's really nailed.
Yeah.
Okay, Colorado Rapids, and we're looking at the away one again here. There's some sort of white to blue, different shades of triangles. I think it's nice, but I don't love it, is my opinion. What about you?
Yeah, I think this is one where the sponsor probably makes it look worse.
Yeah.
I'd say without it, it would be really nice, really stylish.
Yeah.
And it's sort of got hints of the Norway 2020.
Yeah, that definitely comes to mind. Yeah.
Which is really nice. Yeah, so this isn't too bad. It's up there with the best, I think, but without the sponsor, it would be nicer.
Yeah, I think it's one of the ones I can appreciate the design, but it's not one that I'm desperate to go out and buy.
Yeah.
Cool. Smashing through these. We're looking at the crew, and it'll be the away shirt again that we are looking at here. I recently did a video and talked about the crew with Anthony La Rosa, who does some amazing MLS videos. And I went back through some crew shirts, and they've had some beautiful shirts in their time. I was really shocked to see some of the absolute beautiful design classics. This for me isn't one. I think always, black and yellow is a hard one to really get wrong, and it barely looks terrible. And this doesn't look terrible. It's just not for me.
Yeah. I would probably be in agreement there with you. The sponsor's okay, actually. I don't really do that. I feel like if the sponsor was yellow, maybe that would look better.
Yeah.
Because that middle bit's quite. I don't know, because obviously there is a lot of white and black and grey in the middle bit, but it might need a bit of yellow in there. But then obviously the home's got all of that yellow in, so maybe that's why. And yeah, I think the design is okay. Not It's not really anything special, I don't think. But yeah, not too bad. I think with a lot of these, I don't hate any of them. But nothing yet has made me go like, oh, I wouldn't mind that one. I wouldn't be too annoyed if it was in my home. But yeah, I think it is nice. I don't know whether that badge is bigger on the away shirt, or
I think it is. Yeah, it does look like it is.
I feel like it might be a bit too big.
Yeah, it certainly looks. I mean, the home one looks really nice.
Mm,
That one does look definitely oversized, doesn't it?
yeah, it does.
Yeah, I think you might well be. But yeah, and I think the yellow across the sleeves works really nicely.
Mm.
Yeah, not a bad shirt after overall. The next one we've got up is the DC one. Again, it's one of the most talked about ones because I think this is one that's been awaited for by DC fans for a long time. Having the cherry blossom on the shirt. How do you think that they've pulled it off?
Not that well, basically. I think it has a lot of potential to be amazing. I've got loads of different kits. I mean, the Timbers one behind me. I love it when they've got roses on or flowers or anything on there, but I don't think they're vibrant enough on there. I would want a little bit more pink. There's not enough pink on there, and yeah, like it's really annoying. As I was really looking forward to that one being released, and it was quite pink enough, because I love mine that are pink, and I've got so many pink ones, and it's like they could have just added a little bit more pink. And then yes, it is wow. But not quite.
Yeah, I have very similar thoughts. I think I did say on my initial video looking at the kits there, it's just not quite worked for me. I think if you had that on a screen and you were playing with the colors, say in Photoshop, and you get the pink layer, if you either turn it right up and have that much more bold, and throughout the actual white on the kit, the actual cherry blossoms a lot bolder and pinker, and then the corresponding neck and sleeve bits as well. So have that bolder, or have it even more ingrained in the shirt, so it was a little bit harder to see, but it was ingrained in a kind of subtle way. Either one of those, but I think would have worked better on this, or even actually, I mean, maybe saving it until the home kit and having the pink on black. I know it's a bit into Miami, maybe that would be a bit controversial, but I think that colorway works. Those two together tends to work. But the thing that's really annoying me is the sponsor is so big. It's just huge.
It's really bad. I don't know why it's that big. When with that one, you would expect that the pink would be the statement.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at that, all that you can really see is that huge XDC, and like, why have you done this? It's so annoying.
It is, because I love why it's there as well. I love the story behind it and the sentiment and the fact that it's got the links to DC and stuff. It all could have worked so well.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
Yeah, I will.
On to Cincinnati, and I'm not going to get much happier on this one, to be honest, because I've really loved Cincinnati shirts in the past. I've got a 2019 Cincinnati shirt here just behind me, actually, because I really loved it, and I love what they've done with shirts in the past. For me, I just don't like it.
Yeah, because it's the home.
Yes, we're looking at the home, yeah, with the splash across there, yeah.
Yeah. So this is one where I've noticed this with a lot of kits is that I don't really like it when the sleeves don't match the main body. So I don't like how they're a completely sort of separate entity. And I would love it if they used that blue for the whole lot, and that splash or whatever that is also sort of goes over onto the sleeve as well.
Yeah, that could be good.
Maybe just the one sleeve, probably just the one, and that could look really good. And another one where the sponsor I don't think looks too great.
Yeah. It seems they put it higher up than on the away shirt.
Yeah, I think that's the issue in the away, that it's too low.
Is that right? Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
That looks a bit too low on the away.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, actually. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, another one that had potential. I don't mind the design of the splash, but the colours, yeah, and I think if it was the whole shirt was the kind of dark blue and the splash was maybe slightly lighter, that could have really worked. Yeah, I think that's good insight.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the Dallas one here. This one I really liked, but I think the sponsor spoils it, unfortunately. It could have looked really, really nice with a different sponsor, or no sponsor ideally, but yeah, that's exactly where I am with it, to be honest. I don't have many more thoughts, to be honest.
Yeah, I am definitely with you there as well. I think it's okay. I don't think I like it as much as you do, but it's definitely not awful like most of these. But yeah, I think it is okay. It's just another one where the sponsor just doesn't add anything, and it probably takes a bit away. And I do wonder whether maybe in later years, maybe the sponsors will change and sort of adapt more, as they probably keep to how they would look normally. But with a lot of these, they would look nicer as just a logo, or something a little bit more round, maybe. But most of them are just writing, aren't they?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, if they did, yeah, really sort of pull it in like the circles on the All-Star kits, that sort of stuff, and just you kind of know what it's alluding to without having to say it. So maybe, yeah, I mean, obviously not every brand is as strong, but yeah, if you could just do something a bit more minimal, it would really help the shirts, I think.
Yeah.
No, good. Yeah, I think it's nice to hark back to the Dallas Burn and have that connection stuff there. So I love the theory behind it, but yeah, new sponsor, I think. Looking at the Houston Dynamo next, it's the orange one we're looking at with this sort of geometric design. You have to sort of really look a bit closer into it to really see the designs. I believe it's a hexagon. Talking to the Houston before, they literally look like squares on this screen here, but I think they are little.
They are hexagons, yeah.
Yeah, sort of that honeycomb, larger honeycomb design in there. It's quite a nice intricate design, actually. I think it's a lot nicer once you see it up close. It does generally look a bit more sort of just patchy orange outside, but I think I generally like it. I think it's decent, but again, the sponsor is pretty massive.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think as a design, I think it looks really nice. It's almost like a pixelated sort of
yes,
style, which is quite nice. I do like the orange as well. It's not used too often. Obviously, you can think about the Dutch national team, and I think it would work quite nicely as one of their kits. But yeah, I do like this. I actually like it more now I've zoomed in than I did just looking at it normally, because you don't really get to like notice the hexagons or the
Yeah.
more detailed aspects, which I think it would be like that with a lot of them. Like when you're watching them on TV, it's hard to really see all of the details, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
But no, I think that one's really nice.
Yeah, no, I think they've done a good job there as well. It's really innovative. I've never seen anything like that before. So yeah, well, yeah, huge props to them on that actually.
Yeah.
Inter Miami, I did read about this one, and I did that one of the articles I read said pink and black is like a cheat code for a kit, and I'm inclined. I don't agree that it always works, but for this one, I think it's really great. I really like it. I think I should have rated it higher in my initial lineup of shirts, because having seen it close up, it is really nice.
Yeah, I think it will always work. It's hard to make it not work, and there's not really any other team other than you think Palermo who will do the pink and the black. And I think this is actually one where the sponsor doesn't look too bad.
No, I was going to say that too. Actually, yeah, they have kind of pulled that off. Actually,
yeah, but I would say that if the logo was in the middle and then the writing was underneath, that could look really good. But yeah, I really like it. Yeah, the pink and the black's lovely. And yeah, and obviously I do like their stuff because I've got a tracksuit top of theirs as well from 2 years ago, I think it was. And yeah, so this one's nice. It could have a little bit more detail though, I think. But nice effort.
Yeah, I like the fact that they've put the sort of palm print in sort of stripes across there. That's the subtlety that I really liked when I sort of picked up on it. So I'm like, yep, you've got the colorway right, you've got the boldness right, you've got a little bit of detail in there.
Yeah.
If that company, I don't know what they do, XBTO, just had that logo and not XBTO and centered it, absolute perfection. I would love that.
Yeah, that really would look lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah, really nice. It's a good shape. Okay, so on to Galaxy. This was a very well liked kit as well, and I have to say I wasn't a massive fan when I first did my roundup of it. I was a bit no, it doesn't really work, but actually it's grown on me. I think it's maybe seeing it in action a bit and being around it a bit more. I really do actually like it now. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I really saw what a lot of other people did. It's the neckline and the cuffs. I don't know. I just think it's a bit too much. It sort of looks like a load of Smarties or something like that. And I also find it a little bit odd how many stars they have on the badge.
It's the 5 stars. Yeah, this is
yeah. It just looks like it's slightly overkill. Like you just maybe just stop winning things because that looks a bit weird. You need to just calm it down a bit. But no, I think the blue and the yellow and the red is nice, and the sponsor is quite structured. I like that the words are even and not sort of there's one word which is longer than the other word. So I do think it is okay. I just think that it's the neckline and the cuffs that I don't like, and it's like that with the Ajax away shirt from last season, or was it this season? And I don't like that one either, but lots of other people did. So I feel like I am being harsh because I've not said too many nice things. But yeah.
No, I'm inclined to agree. I'm not in love with it in the way that some other people are. I do get it. Like, it has grown on me a bit, but it is quite carnival. It's quite sort of different. I think that deserves a bit of respect as well. So let's leave it there on that one. We'll head across town to LAFC and this middle one. I was really surprised at this one actually. I wasn't expecting LAFC to come out with anything like this, but it's obviously kind of smoky, kind of. I was going to say camo initially, but it's not really that, is it? It is kind of a sort of smoky look across this. I like the colours. Overall, yeah, I quite like it without loving it. How about you?
Yeah. So when I did my top 5, this was in there. I think it was quite high actually. I think it was 2 or 3. As I just love that effect on it, and also, yeah, as you've already mentioned, that green. Is it green? It is sort of a minty green, isn't it?
I can't place it. What that is actually,
I don't know what it is, but I do like it. And without the sponsor, this is 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I actually think, yeah, imagining that actually that is.
I would have probably have ordered it instantly without the sponsor. It's just flex, and you're just thinking, all right, like just maybe not. But no, I absolutely love it. It's got Leeds vibes as well. Leeds away.
Yeah.
And I love that one as well. But yeah, this one's my number 1 out of the ones that we've looked at. Definitely.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't have much more to say on it. Actually, I think it's decent. Yeah, very good. Minnesota. This one got a lot of love, and a lot of people in my comment section said I should have put this one number 1, and I can absolutely see why, because it is lovely. The sponsor is immaculate. So a lot of things we've been critical of here are absolutely not there with this one. It just works for me. It's got a link to the city, which I always like to see, but it's just aesthetically beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also because the fact that they've changed their badge, so that the bird, I'm not sure what bird it is.
It is. I think is it a loon maybe, or I
don't know.
I can't quite remember now.
But I think that is lovely. It's really classy. And yeah, as you've already mentioned, the sponsor, which is the first one, I think, out of all of these ones where you don't have any writing, and it just looks awesome. Design wise, I love it. I love the fact that it's got pink, and the blue is nice, and it is sort of an ombre.
Yeah,
it's really cool as well. Yeah, no, this isn't one that made my top 5, but I think if I was to do it now, then I think it probably would, because it is really, really good.
Yeah, I think it's one that I haven't bought it. I think I might, to be honest. Looking at it again now, I really do want it because it does look really, really nice. Good stuff. And all right, Nashville, I think is. I think this is really good. Again, I like this. It's obviously the black one, the Man in Black shirts. I would have bought it already were it not for the sponsor. I know that I'm being a bit repetitive on sponsor hate at the moment. I know they're necessary and you need them for the money. But yeah, I would have snapped this up already if it wasn't for that sponsor, which I don't like. What do you think?
I'm not with you there.
No,
I don't think it's good. I think it's very plain. And yeah, I just don't think it really offers anything. I think the best part about it is probably the Hyundai sleeve sponsor.
yeah,
and that is quite nice. But yeah, I don't think it's great. I think it's very plain. But people love that as well. Like, we can't all have crazy looking ones with all sorts of colors everywhere. But yeah, no, not nice in my eyes.
Yeah, blackout kits always go well. I think that people do love that sort of classic look. And for me, I do like this one. I like the Nashville badge. I like the way that they've blended it with this kit as well, rather than just slapped a yellow one on it, which they could easily have done.
Yeah.
They've actually thought about it and blended it in, which I think that's really nice. It's one I would consider getting. If I saw it in the sale somewhere, I'd probably snap it up, to be honest. But there we go. New England Revolution. I'm going to say the same thing I said last time, which is screensaver, which is what it looks like to me. And again, the sponsor just looks slapped right through in the middle of it. So it's not for me. It might be my worst one, unfortunately. How about you?
Yeah, no, that wasn't what I was going to really think of. But then when you mentioned the screensaver thing, it's like with old computers, if you're looking at Windows or whatever, you've stopped typing for however long, and then that would pop up. It would actually, I would understand why that would actually be on the screen. And I think that's sponsor again, but it's not much that we can really say much else about that. That's like all of the rest of them, and it probably would look nice without it. And maybe if they carried on the red into the sponsor.
Yeah, I think that could have made it a lot better, actually.
Maybe that would work, and maybe had the middle bit lighter, so it's sort of ombre'd up and then ombre'd down.
Yeah.
The middle bit was lighter, and it was sort of a pinky red, and then the top and the bottom were a darker red. That would probably look quite nice. I don't hate it. I think it's okay, but not one of the nicest ones.
No, certainly not, and especially not next to that home one that they've got, which I think is really the business. I think that's fantastic, lovely shirt. So, yeah, a departure, shall we say, on that one. Now I'm wearing this next one for NYC, so you know my thoughts on it. I think it's great. I mean, it made the number one on my list when I first did these, and I can see why. I know why I picked it, because I really like a lot of things about it. It's probably not the best shirt here, I will concede, but it ticks a lot of boxes for me. I really like the color scheme. I love the orange highlights they've put on it. It's sort of the New York crest made out of a mosaic, looking like New York subway tiles. So it's got a real sort of connection to the city and the culture there as well. So it ticks a huge amount of boxes for me. What about you?
Yeah, no, I also agree. It's not one that I thought too highly of at first, but looking at your one, yours the authentic one?
I got it online. I haven't had it approved. I don't know if it's actually 100% on this, but it's I only got it the other day.
Well, yours looks really good.
It's not, it's nice and embossed and everything, so it's
I like that on your one it's darker. All of the aspects of it are darker, whereas on the screen it looks quite light.
That's definitely, it looks more obvious on the one I've got, the actual pattern on it. Yeah,
it does. But I do really like it, and I like the light blue and the orange. They have done quite well with this one, I think.
Yeah, it's certainly not playing it safe. They've really gone for something. I think they've really pulled it off, which I really admire. That's good. Now, the New York Red Bulls, I know was again another controversial one. The fans weren't massively enamored. The ones I spoke to about it, I tend to think it's a really nice shirt, actually. But I can see why they weren't that enamored with it as a home shirt. What about you?
Yeah, well, I think that's why I really like it. I think it's that it doesn't look like a home one, does it? It's that weird that you'd expect it would be an away one, but I really like it. I like that it's odd colors, and I think that sponsor as well makes it. I think it looks really, really good. It could possibly be a little bit smaller, but obviously because the fact that it is Red Bulls and they are sponsoring themselves, it's you sort of understand why they want to make it as large as they can. But I really like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, they are the one club that could just not have that middle bit at all, and it's already on the badge. So if they wanted to be a bit more bold, they could really do that. So yeah, maybe for next time, that's one for them to think about, maybe. Good stuff. I mean, actually, at least they haven't got the words Red Bull across the middle of it. It is just the Bulls, actually. So there's something good there, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
The Orlando one we've kind of alluded to already. It is a purple. It has got a little bit of the detail in there, but the purple and the gold, it works for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I do think that when you put gold on anything, it looks nice. I think, and having it with the purple is really, really nice. I think the sponsor's okay. Actually, it's not too bad, and the design is okay as well. I think it got a lot of love, and I can understand why.
Yeah.
But it's not quite up there in my eyes. But it is nice.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't got a huge amount more to say. Really like it. Like I say, if I saw it on sale, I'd probably pick it up. But yeah, I'm not going to pay £100 to import it. But onto the Philly Union. This is one that I am waiting to buy. I haven't seen it cheap enough yet anywhere, but I'm still actively looking because I really want it. And it's the first one. When I looked, I was like, I really, really want this. So I'm going to look out for that one. I think it's great. I can't fault it. It looks like I'm on a. It's beautiful. A lot of people said it looks like the Simpsons intro. It just works.
Yeah, I love it. This was another one that was in my top 3.
Yeah.
Another example of where they have adapted their badge, and having that snake on there is awesome. I love that. And even the sponsor's not too bad as it's sort of boxed off.
Yeah.
But it's not just slapped on the front. It is a part of the main design. And you've got the blue and the cream. Is it cream?
Yeah, I'll go with cream. Yeah.
Behind it, which is really nice. It reminds me of a sort of Swansea one, but I don't know why, because I think maybe it's that the snake sort of looks like a swan. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
I think they did have a creamy sort of beigey hit at one point.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think this is lovely because it is very cartoony, isn't it? And like clouds, which are really cool. And yeah, this one's really, really nice. As you've already mentioned, if it was cheap enough, I would probably get it. But it's just whether it is ever going to be cheap enough, because kits, especially nowadays, are not cheap, are they?
No, exactly. Yeah, we tend to, especially over here, it's a real mix about which ones you can actually get hold of and how cheap they are, actually. So yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag. But yeah, I think the changing of the badge, I really like the Philly Union normal badge, but the snake on this shirt works so well.
Yeah,
it's absolutely perfect. I'll definitely pick this up at some point. If anyone wants to send me one, then please feel free.
Yeah, as well if you can.
yeah, that's 2 in the post. You can save on the postage now. Yeah. So the Timbers, obviously you've got a Timbers shirt there. This one immediately I thought of a Christmas present when I saw it, and this was kind of, but actually it's really grown on me since I first saw it. When I thought actually it is a bit Christmassy, a bit too festive. But actually, the plaid it works for me now, and I think having seen it in action helps as well.
Yeah. I do like how they've matched the green and the yellow and the white to the badge as well, which they've obviously done on the away as well.
Oh yeah,
I do like it when clubs do that, as there are times when they will adapt everything else except that, and then it just doesn't look right at all. But that looks nice. I like the sponsor, how it's a bit slanted. I think it is quite cool. I would probably take off the airlines, and then that would look even nicer. But yeah, it does sort of look like a present, doesn't it? But then it's also got a bit of a tartan Scottish vibe as well.
Very much, yeah, absolutely.
But I like it, yeah. Not one of my favourites, but nice. It is good.
Would be very happy wearing that one. I think this is one of the ones that really benefits from Adidas taking off the word Adidas and just having the three stripes in the triangular shape, because I think the simplicity really works on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Good stuff. Real Salt Lake is next, and I think people really vibed over the colours on this one, and I think that is absolutely justified. That sort of royal yellow they've got on there is a really nice, kind of unique colour. I'm not sure I've seen that particular shade being used very much before, so I like it, and the complementary colours also really work. It looks like they've just brought those out of the badge and gone with it, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like it's almost not yellow, is it? It's gold, which I guess is because on the badge with that crown, that would also be gold as well.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And I do wish that the star above the badge was blue. I think that would.
It gets lost, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that would be a little bit better.
Yeah, it would.
If it's not on there. And if you zoomed into the design, it is sort of another hexagon. Is it a hexagon?
It is, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is.
It is 6. So it is quite nice. I do like the red and the blue as well with that gold. And gold isn't really done very often. But I like it.
Yeah, me too. Just noted here, it's nicknamed the Beehive State kit, which that really works. I like it even more now, actually. So good on your RSL. That's a nice one.
Yeah.
San Jose Earthquakes is the next one up. For me, I love the pattern, and I keep on at sponsors having a go, but it looks wonky to me. This sponsor is not doing any favors, and the fact it's got such tiny writing at the bottom of it just doesn't make sense to me.
I know. It's not as bad on the away, but it just blends into the home. You just think, why would you do this? It's either move those rectangles along a bit.
Yes, exactly what I was thinking. Yeah,
I'll allow them to keep intermedia, but get rid of whatever's underneath it.
I can't read it.
It is tiny. I've got no idea what it is. But and this is another one where the sleeves, I think, need that pattern. But then I do understand why it's not on there, as that would then be quite hard with the MLS patch on there. I think it would sort of get lost. But it could be really, really good. But that sponsor is just awful. You just
they need a new sponsor big time.
Yeah, without it would be an 8, and then with it, it's a 5 or 6 maybe.
Yeah, it might work up to a 7 just without that little tiny writing underneath. If they could get again just the 4 bars, lovely. Yeah, absolutely fair enough.
Yeah,
damn it. Okay, the next one, Seattle Sounders. It's the Bruce Lee. It's the red one, which again, a massive move away. It's the one I forgot to include in my first video, which to my shame. Yeah, I just completely went out of my mind. How I could have forgotten it, I have no idea, because it's probably the most noticeable one of the kits there. I think it's wild, and for that fact, I like it. Why not? I've seen it in action. It looks great on the players. So, yeah, all power to them.
Yeah, I think it's lovely. I think the only thing I would mention is probably the red neckline and cuffs. I would probably make yellow.
Yeah.
That would probably add a little bit more. But this, I think, was my number one, and it's had a lot of great reviews everywhere. Everyone's loving it, and it's sort of like the one from last year, which I've got there as well, which is the Jimi Hendrix one, and I just think it's really, really cool. It's nothing like anything else, which is only going to help when you're making those, and I would imagine it's going to be really, really hard to actually buy it. I think a lot of people will want it, and there's not going to be any reductions there. If you want it, you're going to have to pay full whack for it, and understandably, really, because it is very, very unique, and I love it.
Yeah, it's going to be a future classic. It's going to be on eBay for like 300 quid in like a year or two's time.
Yeah, it is.
Good stuff. Yeah, well, yeah, rave reviews for Seattle. I think, yeah, we're going with the crowd on that one, but why not? A classic's a classic. Sporting Kansas City, I absolutely panned on mine. It's a rugby shirt, and I can't get away from that. What do you think?
Yes, it is. No, I didn't really think about that, but it is. It's that neckline. It is basically rugby. I do like how they've managed to get that sponsor into the lines.
Yeah, that's good. That works.
I think that is quite cool. And I think this is actually one case where I like that they've not put the stripes on the sleeves. As it might look a bit like pajamas otherwise.
Yes, it was, yeah.
Especially if they ever made long sleeved ones.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too surprised if I went into, I don't know, Primark and they were in there. But no, I think it's not great. It is definitely not a football shirt at all. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too keen on collars anyway. Even that's not really even a collar, is it? But it's got the buttons.
Yeah, it's a semi-collar, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but not really for me.
No, I take your point on the logo, because looking at the home one, it's a completely different shape, and they've reshaped the logo on that to actually make it fit, which actually I got a lot of time for, because some of them haven't at all, and just got the design of the shirt and slapped the logo on there. So actually, that is pretty decent.
Yeah, definitely.
Saving grace, one positive on it.
I've got a bit of a tickle in my throat, so
all right.
If I am crying, it isn't because of the kits. It's something else.
Sporting Kansas City's kit made you cry. You could
Yeah.
write an article on this now.
Oh dear.
We got two for the next one. So Lewis City have two debut shirts, clearly. I like one more than the other. I like the pink home one because it is the very first inaugural jersey. I mean, it's an instant classic because it's the number one. The away one, I really, as a white shirt with a sort of pinstripe, sort of very, very subtle effect on it, I think is excellent. It's probably sacrilegious to say, but it reminds me a little bit of a sort of Yankees baseball uniform with this sort of stripes going on there. So they wouldn't appreciate me saying that. But it's the spirit kit, and it's supposed to be a clear grey base on it, and I think that's really nice. I would wear that one actually. What do you think of these two?
Okay, well, so you like the away more than the home?
Yeah, I aesthetically, yes, but the home I think is just classic because it's their first one, and I don't know which one I'd rather own, to be honest, because I like them both for different reasons.
Yeah, I think the home is right up my street.
Yeah,
I don't. I feel like I would like that design a little bit more rather than just the half in the middle. But I do understand how they've gone for a half and half there. Lots of teams do that, but with a more blocked color rather than the design. Normally, when you have a design like that, you'll go all over the shirt, or at least all over the body of it. But the sponsor's okay. I love their badge. The badges are really cool.
yeah,
and even the away is also nice. I think I like that you can't really notice those lines until you get a little bit closer.
yeah. I like that too.
It really adds a little bit more detail in there, which is really good. And yeah, as their very first kits, I think they have done really well, and they will be remembered quite highly, which will be good. But yeah, both of them really nice.
Yeah, especially with their start to the season as well. It's been absolutely phenomenal. So, yeah, good luck to them. Toronto, for me, bringing it down again. I think I called this European rugby in my last video because it just seems it's not cohesive to me. I get why they've used the colours, but I don't like any aspect of it, to be honest with them.
Yeah, I think actually this is probably my least favorite, I would say. I think again, that sponsor's weird. It just it's either put that logo in the middle on its own, or in the middle and then the writing underneath, or even on the left and then the writing on the right, because it's almost as if it's got two badges.
Yeah.
And they're right underneath each other, and it looks really wonky. It looks as though it's about to, fall off or something. It's like
it does. Yeah, I think
it's really weird.
For the place that it is as well, I believe BMO is Bank of Montreal, and so if you're going to be very well known in the region, just have the little round circle. Unless they want to do an international branding thing, maybe so they want the whole thing there, maybe. But I would incorporate it into the circle. It just looks wrong.
Yeah, and also I don't know if you've noticed, but the writing doesn't fit in the lines.
Oh yeah, maybe that's why it looks so off as well.
I think that's what makes it look really wonky.
Yeah.
And they would have had ages to look at this over and over again, and they still managed to come up with this. You just think, really, like, just even if you just lifted it all a little bit higher, sort the sponsor out completely, because if it was just that logo in the middle, that's not bad.
Yeah, you think it's yeah.
And I don't like the colors together, really. I feel like they don't really work. So yeah, not good at all. Really bad, actually, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's a real shame. I like Toronto as a team and a place. I think there's a lot going for it, but that shirt isn't one of the things, I'm afraid. So finally up here we have Vancouver Whitecaps. It's the home one we're looking at as the new one, and I'm a bit torn on this now. I know I didn't like it necessarily on my first one. I like it a bit more than I initially liked it. I think maybe it's seeing it in action on the TV, but I think it's better than I thought it was initially. So maybe I was a little bit harsh on it at first, but it's okay. What do you reckon?
I think if I said it was okay, I'd be giving them a bit too much praise. But I do understand why you would think that. But I think the best part about this is the badge. I think it looks really, really cool on there.
An amazing badge, yeah.
It is awesome. But yeah, there's just not a lot going on. It's almost like it's not really a modern shirt.
There is something kind of old-fashioned about it, isn't there? Yeah.
It's even pre-90s. It's
yeah. I was just trying to think what decade that's going to be, and it's maybe early 90s, but yeah, it could be 80s.
Yeah, I don't know. I like what they've done with the sponsor in that they've put it in that box.
Yeah.
But at least put red and blue on the neckline or the cuffs.
Yeah.
And even having some red along the tops on the strips.
Yeah.
That would be good as well. But it's like they've started it and they went and got some food and then they just left it. They're like, oh, that, that'll do. I'll just leave that one there. But yeah, we've ended there on two quite average shirts, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that the Vancouver away actually is really nice. So the one that they've carried over, the darker one, works much nicer. They've got a nice neckline. It just seems to be the whole package. It feels like they've taken some of the aspects of the away one and put them on the home one, and then changed a few more so it doesn't seem quite right.
Yeah, I mean that away is Argentina.
Yes, it is. Yes, good point.
Maradona, 1980s, early 90s.
Yeah.
It looks like an Argentina one, doesn't it?
Yeah, cool neckline, tight fitting.
Yes.
Yeah, really, really cool. That's really nice. Okay, so can you pick a best and worst?
Oh,
what do you think?
First, I will crown Toronto as the worst.
I'm trying to agree, unfortunately, because I feel hesitant to say because I do like Toronto as a club, but that's not a good shirt. I'm sorry.
Well,
the best is going to be harder, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to stick with my guns and say the Sounders.
Yeah, that is a very, very special shirt, and I think if you were looking for one to invest in, I think it's that one definitely.
Yeah, I think. But even then, I think the Philadelphia could be up there.
Yeah.
New York Red Bulls.
Minnesota probably as well.
Yeah, and then the LAFC as well. I love that one as well. I think
it's a strong crop, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if comparing them to last year, I liked more from last year. I think with these, there's less bad ones, but I also think less good ones. There are lots that are okay, which probably helps with collections because maybe more people would buy them. Yeah, I would say it's not as bad as I thought it was when I first looked. However many weeks ago, there's probably about 8 that I would probably buy, which is quite good actually. It's not as bad as I thought. You don't normally get that many, I guess, that you would want.
Yeah, so you're pushing what, a third, a quarter?
Yeah,
there. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would agree as well. There's a few that I completely plan on buying. But yeah, I'm just trying to find the opportunity to, because it's really hard to find them without being, paying over 100 quid for them over here at this stage. And yeah, hopefully that there will be opportunities. But that's very, very cool. Will you come back and do some more shirts stuff with us in the future?
Happily, yes, please. Yeah,
I think we should do an all-time one, and then maybe get you back for next year as well on the new ones.
Yeah. Well, I will have to look up on the all-time ones and have a look. And yeah, I think that'll be really interesting to look at now and look at then and work out how everything's changed over the years. Whether back then the sponsors looked good or whether they were like they are now, because that is really what has let a lot of them down. Is it's just a bad sponsor, and that really can be the sort of difference between good kit and a bad one.
Absolutely. We must have said it 6 or 7 times. It was probably the most used comment was the sponsors ruined this. And yeah, I think there needs to be a bit more working with the sponsors working with the kit makers and with the football club to sort of say, look, how can we make this better? I think it has happened with some of those. Was it the RSL one that no, it wasn't the RSL. It was the Kansas City one where they actually changed it.
Yeah.
I think, do that more often. You're going to get much, much better results. Because that is something there's clearly a key factor.
It is absolutely massive.
Good stuff. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you today, Zekey. Where can people find you online if they want to look for you?
So I'm all over the place. I'm on Twitter at Knockem Downs. That's probably where I'm most active. Too active. I'm really trying to lower my screen time on there because but I'm also on Instagram, Fresh Shirts UK, which is specifically just for all of this stuff. I take lots of pictures, I do videos, do edits, all sorts of different things. And I am on TikTok as well, but I'm not very often. Knockem Downs as well, and I've got a few videos on there with my girlfriend who has rated a lot of my collection.
Oh, cool, that's fun.
Very harshly, I would say, but people enjoyed it. So yeah, that is where you can find me, really. But yeah.
I'll definitely be looking that up. I did not know about the TikTok. I love the fact. Yeah, my wife absolutely just is aghast at some of the things I buy. Just, why the hell have you bought that? That's awful.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I get that, and I want to share in your pain as well. So it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on today. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yes, please. Yeah. Thank you very much for asking me on. It's been awesome. I don't tend to spend enough time looking at MLS kits, so it is always nice when it is around this period and they're all everywhere, and you can then get all excited about the new releases again. And yeah, I've absolutely loved it. So thank you very much for asking me on.
No, me too, man. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Cheers. Bye-bye.